Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies, everyone, for the. Well, that's not even tardy. That's just late. That's just late. My apologies, Bruce Owen Wayne. My apologies. Longo was going on. Big Kev was going on. Right. Big Kev got the jump on me. We're gonna read his description in a minute. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Today we will be talking about women, particularly black women, because that's who black men care about, because that's who the vast majority, of black men date and want to be with, contrary to many swirlers and divestors' belief. Um, and so let's go through it, and let's actually read Big Kev's definition first, and then I'm going to play a recording after that, and then we're going to get on the road and kind of give our commentary afterward. And so Big Kev says, dark femininity is feminine, tough love, indignation. See the darkness Kali, the alleged anti-male East Indian deity that actually symbolizes the destruction of ignorance. Thank you, sir. Right? And Big Kev also says toxic femininity is vain, excessive, and unnecessary antagonism and malice done by women, by a woman slash women. Yes. Right. So and that's pretty it's very interesting because the young lady who covers this, she speaks about like the revenge aspect, right? So it's very interesting that Big Kev is saying that, because that's exactly what she speaks about. And the young lady, by the way, the link is in the description. I put it last minute, although I kind of used that in other videos to kind of give me an idea of what I was speaking about. But the young lady's name is Madison Brown, right? I've checked out a couple of her things prior, and I'm probably going to speak about her a little bit more. Um, yeah. So let's let's do this. Let's play this recording, and then we'll come back on the back end, and then we will speak about it. Okay. All right. Let's play this. All right, y'all. Give me 1 second, and let me know if you guys can hear this. Mr. Z is doing this in his budget friendly way, cheap. Anyway, but it's gonna be clear, hopefully, not compared to or better than I did what that was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when I did a horrible job at this. Okay, let's try this, and y'all let me know if y'all can hear it well. All right, let's pause right here. Shall we? The dark feminine energy craze has been circulating on TikTok for a while, and it seems to be another kind of feminine trope that TikTok really likes to latch on to. It's been not only present in the like self-transformation, self-improvement part of TikTok for women, but also within the dating advice side of TikTok. Dark feminine energy, according to this Vice article, appears to be the latest in a long line of TikTok trends combining self-help, girl boss feminism, witchy language, and spirituality. As ever, it draws on well-known tropes, this time repackaged under a sexy black vinyl femme fatale aesthetic. On the surface, the dark feminine is someone who is sultry, sexy, seductive, mysterious, dominant, assertive, confident, typically has some sort of intense stare or glare or smolder. And on a deeper, more behavioral level, the dark feminine asserts boundaries, doesn't explain herself, cuts off anybody or anything who doesn't serve her. The list goes on. To understand what and there you go, right? Y'all give me 1 second. We're gonna come back in a minute. Give me 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we are back. We are back. We are back. So, what is the issue then, Mr. Z? What is the issue with this dark femininity talk? Well, once again, it's women, black women in particular, um, embracing this kind of manifest talk mixed with witchy language, like Madison Brown said. This is them messing with kind of spirituality that they don't fully comprehend and understand. um it is the way people sound when they don't actually have control, right? But they're attempting to have control in maybe all the wrong ways, right? So the witchy language, the spiritual language, the manifest talk, the girl boss feminism, all of that, right? All of that, right? And we're actually going to play the definition. Well, we're going to play Madison's clip one more again, right? In a second. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to play that for you guys again. For those that are just coming in. So, and hopefully you guys can still hear me well. Yeah. So this is what it is, right? This is what it is. Hmm, this is manifest talk, y'all. Right? This is self improvement talk spoken by women. This is how they do their self improvement. So just like we have the self improvement gurus all over the manosphere, all over male spaces, black male spaces even, just like we have the self improvement people, um the some of them being scammers, let's be very clear, some of them knowing that you're struggling financially, you're struggling with women, um and they come through with their 5 easy steps. This is the female equivalent, right? Except of course for them they put a whole lot of, and like Madison said, witchy and spiritual language on theirs. They layer that part on very thick, right? That's one of the biggest differences. So let's play, and hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let's play this clip one more time, right? And we will get on the road proper after that. Okay, let's find it first if we could find it, and there we go. All right, let's make sure you guys can really hear it, and here we go.
Shall we? The dark feminine energy craze has been circulating on TikTok for a while, and it seems to be another kind of feminine trope that TikTok really likes to latch on to. It's been not only present in the like self-transformation, self-improvement part of TikTok for women, but also within the dating advice side of TikTok. Dark feminine energy, according to this Vice article, appears to be the latest in a long line of TikTok trends combining self-help, girl boss feminism, witchy language, and spirituality. As ever, it draws on well-known tropes, this time repackaged under a sexy black vinyl femme fatale aesthetic. On the surface, the dark feminine is someone who is sultry, sexy, seductive, mysterious, dominant, assertive, confident, typically has some sort of intense stare or glare or smolder. And on a deeper, more behavioral level, the dark feminine asserts boundaries, doesn't explain herself, cuts off anybody or anything who doesn't serve her. The list goes on. To understand what
Yes. So the dark feminine, right? And so you're going to see more of this. I'm just going to kind of slot this in or put this in the folder of like, as the world becomes more chaotic socially, right? As you we kind of have this ripping of stability and kind of norms, gender norms. You're going to see this. This is the second order effects that this comes with the second order effects that Dr. Richard Reeves spoke to, right? This is part of it, because nobody's straight up telling the women, hey, by the way, this is what comes with feminism. Let me tell you what's coming with feminism. Let me tell you what's coming with LGBTQ and their movement, right? And different concepts of what it means to be a woman and different concepts of what it means to be a man. Let me tell you what's going to come with it. Oh, all of these kind of ways of telling men, hey, by the way, this is what you're supposed to be as a man. To a lesser or greater degree, this is what you're supposed to be as a man. Yeah, all of that is out the window. All of that, this is what you're supposed to be as a woman, and this is kind of the standard. all of that's out the window. And all of the fallout and ramifications for that, yeah, you're gonna have to suffer that most likely. As a woman, especially an everyday woman, this is what you're gonna have. This is what comes with feminism and the rise of LGBTQ and LGBTQ pushing against gender and gender norms, right? And questioning what is a woman anyway, what is a man anyway. This is what comes with it. And because no one's really telling the women that, they're over here like attempting to manifest and girl boss feminism their way through things. And yeah, dark feminine, which you're seeing more and more of this online. So the young lady here, Madison, speaks about TikTok, but no, you see plenty of those videos on YouTube, right? This is like Shira Seven's whole shtick. This is that sprinkle, sprinkle. That's what this what that whole thing. That's all her thing over there, right? You know, the love stuff. Madison had it correct, right? The revenge of it all. I got my heart broken by this one man. Let me make every man pay for it, right? And of course, you already know women playing victim, so they feel like they got their heart broken by one dude. So every man gotta feel the pain because of it now, or they've given themselves too much and they've been too open with men, and now a man has to suffer now. The man that actually likes them and is pursuing them now has to suffer because the man they wanted that was probably an a-hole or didn't want them, right? Or they gave the vagina up way too quickly. Now the man that is pursuing them has to suffer. How is this supposed to work? Right? So this is women attempting to have some control over themselves and over their lives and over their destiny by harming harming innocent people. uh right? Right? And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat, excuse me, thank you for the super chat. Big Kev says, feminism promotes toxic fem couched as dark fem. And that's what we see kind of going on all through these spaces, because no one, for the life of all of these people, and that's all of them, the best you get at some of these explanations is maybe Julesy, right? That's the best you get. Maybe at the fringes, like, yeah, Julesy, Nappy Headed Ahoba, T Noir at the, a little bit, maybe Kim Foster. But for the most part, none of these people, that includes FD Signifier, none of them are telling women what comes with feminism for real. And how they're going to have to drop all of these insane ideas of super provider man, super simp. Super simp that just hands you his credit card, just like this, just hands you his credit card. Buys you out of your struggles that you probably put yourself in. Super simp. Right? So because no one's telling the women, they're sounding more and more insane. They're reaching for anything. Any and everything. They're just reaching, y'all. And so they find themselves in these type of positions. Mad at the world. Mad at men. Mad at black men. Right? So as Madison was saying, these are manipulation tactics. Um, you know, I call it that this is their own kind of self-improvement, movement. This is women's self-improvement movement. Let me actually go on to this point right now, because I really wanted to stress this point. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. So this is women speaking about men. Obviously, if he wanted to, he would. where they say if he wanted to, he would. There would be no extenuating circumstances. There would be no excuses. There would be no reasons why y'all didn't go to that park, or why y'all didn't go to the movies, or why you didn't go out of town, or why y'all didn't take that trip, or why he didn't buy you that bag. If he wanted to, he would. Right? And you could couch this under, because most of the talk with this dark feminine obviously has to do with men. Duh. Right? It's women once again attempting to get men by some trickery means, because they feel like, well, I tried to do it above board and I tried to do it the right way and it didn't work and I didn't get the type of man I wanted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or I wasn't able to keep him. Right? So you could couch that if he wanted to, he would, under the umbrella of dark feminine, right? And once again, it's the cutting a man off. If he wanted to, he would. He didn't. Okay, cut him off. Which for many of us would save us, right? If you only got to spend $200 and something, $100 and something one time, and something doesn't go through, and she's like, well, if he wanted to, he would, and he didn't, cut off. That would actually save men a whole lot. It might hurt initially, yeah, but it would save men a whole lot. Right? All of this, once again, is just women trying to figure it out. And a lot of the answers are in their face, right? This is the thing that I think Black men in particular find fascinating. We've said to women what we want. We've said to women what we prefer. We've said to women what would make our life and their life easier. We've said it. Mr. Z and other people have predicted how this is going to look. As I've said to y'all before, I'm going to say it again. As the financial crunch comes down, as the austerity measures in America ratchet up, as that interest rate ratchets up, as more and more of these people become unemployed or live precarious lives, which, by the way, the Fed wants more people to be unemployed, right? That's the whole point. Raising the interest rate, they know that people are going to be unemployed, and they're like, yeah, shrugs. That's the whole point, right? As these things happen, what you will find is more and more women sounding like this. Right? And it's your job to try your hardest not to be love bombed, not to be manipulated, not to be played by a person that may actually like you or don't like you, but is using all of these manipulation tactics to keep you. Right? To keep you interested. Right? Instead of doing the most simple things, I don't know, like telling the person you like them. Once again, this also could be filed under the risk averse folder. You could file this in the risk averse folder also. Right? If he wanted to, he would. The people that be having all the excuses in the world talking about if he wanted to, he would. This is also about women's loneliness and them having too much pride and ego to admit that they're lonely. Them pretending like they're not lonely, but they're lonely. They're lonely, they're unhappy, they're miserable. They have, like we always say, 30, 40, 50,000, $60,000 in student loan debt. Right? And they feel like they don't have the answers. So they're looking to these content creators online, these 21st century gurus, to give them the answers to ease their pain, and it ain't working. Right? Because these people don't have the answers either, and they're living precarious lives also. Right? And they're living precarious lives also. So like Madison said, boss girl feminism, We've had over a decade of boss girl feminism that hasn't done much of anything for particularly black women. The boss girl feminism hasn't done anything except cause them to be even more delusional. Now you have the spirituality talk, so they're messing with the supernatural and here thereafter and et cetera, right? And how is that working? Also, it's not. Y'all did the manifest thing. Y'all did the girl boss feminism thing, right? These people ain't protesting for nothing, marching for anything, sending letters to politicians for anything, right? None of that. None of the things that would actually ease the pain financially. Definitely not trying to get down with no man worth a damn. And a man's program, they're not all the steps that would actually help women in general, black women specifically, they're not into. But attempting to manipulate, love bomb, use a man, right? That's what they're into. Because they're lonely. Well, loneliness comes with this game too, ladies. Loneliness comes with this game too, right? Especially when there's no, you've obliterated gender norms while you're looking for a very specific type of heterosexual man. How is this supposed to work? That could pretty much buy you, but you've obliterated gender norms. So now y'all messing with the dark feminine once again, the spiritual talk. A lot of this has to do with revenge, um, girl boss feminism, right? Manifest talk, self improvement talk. But once again, this is women's version of self improvement, which plays with a whole lot of spirituality and a whole lot of things that are, you know, that if it doesn't work, it's really not on them. As I've told y'all before, as these things become more and more precarious, that work environment becomes more shaky. Many of these people are going to sound like this. They're going to be playing with this type of thing. You see it now. And those dark femininity videos are doing numbers, right? And you've heard Mahogany Pink speak on it, Yanni speak on it, Selkis Ray speak on it, Shira 7 speak on it, right? Paris Malone plays with it a little bit. She hasn't, from my understanding, she hasn't used those exact words, but she might have, right? All of this, and none of these people are being on subscribers about the environment. Quite frankly, because they're not doing no research on it. They don't care. They don't think it has anything to do with them. Men should fix it anyway. This is on men. Meanwhile, you live in the consequences of it, ignorant to it, willfully ignorant to it, and think you're above it. You're not. Thinking it's just a man issue. Clearly not. Right? These are tactics to use men. That dark feminine talk is just tactics to use men, to be an a-hole to men and even other women. To be an a-hole to men and even other women. And yes, I'm coming to y'all with this on a good Sunday. This is a Sunday morning. A handful of you, well, y'all not coming out of church yet. Not even on the East Coast. Y'all not out of church yet. Right? But yeah, the ladies sound like this now. You know? The ladies sound like this because no one's being honest with them. Like, I want y'all to understand. I'm in those female space. I'm watching their videos. Nobody, no one. We have those conversations over here in the Black Manosphere, right? In all the female spaces, specifically Black female spaces, nope. Chrissy, nope. Paris, nope. Yanni, nope. Crystalline Kerosene, nope. Right? None of those people. Shira 7, nope. Divested Zealot, nope. Of course not. None of those people. All the divested witches, all those people, none of them. You click their video for 5 seconds, you can turn it off after that. They're not saying anything. Kim Foster, nope. All of these people, and some of them be have long live streams. Like Mr. Z, long live streams. They don't say any of this. And these people are doing numbers. Their live streams are having 2,000 people watch, 1,500 people watch, 1,100 people watch, 2,500 people watch. They'll end the video and they'll have 53,000 people, 100,000 people, 110,000 people. They have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They're doing numbers. They don't have huge channels, right? We're not putting them up there with PewDiePie. They're not up there. But they're doing numbers. Especially, Black women are what, 6.5% of the population? And pretty much all of your subscribers are young Black women, right? And you have 200 and some odd, 300 and some odd, 300 something thousand subscribers, 200 and something thousand subscribers. And on any video, you could have anywhere between 20 something thousand to 100 and something thousand views. Yeah, y'all doing numbers and not saying anything. And now your subscribers are messing with the dark feminine, right? The dark feminine. And hopefully you guys can still hear me. I know I'm in a bit of a dead zone. I will be out of it in about a minute or so. So if I am in a dead zone and you guys can't hear me, which you wouldn't be able to hear this if you can't hear me, I will be in a clearer spot in about another 60 seconds. Give me a minute. If anything, I'll just repeat this if anything, right? And if I'm not in the dead zone, that's great because I know this area used to be like complete dead zone, right? But yeah, I have other points that I want to hit on. Give me 1 second because I'm going to be able to look at my phone in a minute, right? In a minute. Right, give me a second. Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna see more of this. That's why I'm really bringing this to you guys. You guys have seen and heard women kind of flirt with this language. Some of them don't go all the way and say the dark feminine. Many of them do. Particularly on the internet, you're gonna see more of this. That's what I want to stress. You're gonna see more of this as things become precarious, as these people earn less, as stagflation bites them in the rear end, as many of them get laid off, as automation and AI bite at their jobs, right? You're gonna hear more and more of them sound like these people, mess with dark feminine, and the reason why it shouldn't matter to you is because of the manipulation tactics, right? Because of the manipulation tactics. That's why I'm bringing this to y'all. Because of the love bombing, because of the calling you incessantly and then cutting you off for a week, all of these things to kind of reel you in. These are the people that feel like they've been done wrong by Chisel Chin Tyrone and definitely Brad. And so now they're doing it to you to feel a sense of power, right? To feel a sense of power. And so before we go into that, let's pause right here and read Global Free Agents comment, and thank you for the super chat, brother. And Global Free Agent says, "True talk. The content creators' numbers do tell us large amount of women who are dealing with the issues of which you speak." Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, man, these people are doing numbers. They're doing numbers, right? And like some of us work with these particular type of women. We have them as cousins. Some of us have them as sisters. You know, and we know where they are financially. We know how much they earn. We know some of their background, and this is why they sound the way they do. And instead of getting down with a man in his program, a man like that seems like he has his head on his shoulders. No, they want to engage in this dark feminine stuff, right? Because some TikTokers and some YouTubers are talking about it. This is like culty language, right? This is like that cult stuff. And like this is what happened when y'all rip stability from under people. Capitalism wants you precarious, and feminism said, yeah, that whole gender norm and gender roles and play your position, yeah, that's out the window. And so people are like just flowing out there, women included, and they sound like this, right? And they sound like this, you know. That's the To me, this is frightening on two fronts. These are the women we're going to be interacting with, unless you're a passport, bro. And don't worry, this will chase you wherever you go eventually. Better hurry up and get your wife, right? But also for the men that do interact with these women that are not part of the Black manosphere, they don't listen in, or they're not subscribed to Mr. Z's channel, and they date. And I actually, it's funny enough. Um, I was chilling with someone yesterday, and they were speaking to me about a coworker, well, an ex coworker, better yet, and them kind of going through the motions with a baby mama, and like she's exhibiting all of these type of characteristics, right? And they didn't say dark feminine, they didn't call it that, it had nothing, but exhibiting these type of characteristics, right? Y'all got to be careful out here, right? And let me actually, yeah. So that was my point. The struggle is real. The dark feminine is about control and power through manipulation, right? Kevin Miller, the dark Brandon, hysterical, right? This is about control. Yes, it's definitely about control. Definitely about control. And who doesn't want control of their lives? But y'all going about it all the wrong ways because you haven't actually assessed what's going on. You think it's just an individual problem. And maybe if you're an a-hole woman, which probably most of y'all are, and you're unkept or you're just mean or you're just too catty, maybe it is an individual problem. But a lot of this is systemic. But I forgot. Oh, that's above y'all. Oh, or not even above y'all. Y'all don't worry about y'all. Y'all don't worry about that. That's a man issue. Okay, right? And Big Kev says their goal is to sell a Marxist gynocratic utopia. I don't know if they're even thinking that far. Like maybe some of the BLM types, like we've met those women that kind of mix Hotepism with BLMism and then make it all about the black women and the black divine woman. So yeah, for a handful of them, I'll give you that, Big Kev, definitely. But I don't think most women are thinking that far. They're not. They're just like, give me a one word answer, a one word solution, right? To all my issues, whether I put myself in them or not. Just, I need one word answers and solution to my problems and issues. So, like, I think for, yeah, for some of them, and we've met those type of women, especially if you're in a college on a college campus right now, right? Those kind of like, they're not really social justice warriors. They've actually hijacked that term, but the social justice warriors slash hotep slash like black female divine, black goddess, right? Black female goddess, you know, for some of them, yeah, I'll definitely agree with Big Kev on that one. But most of them not thinking, they're not thinking that far. All they know is they've been driving the same Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic for 7, 8, 9 years, and they need a new one, and it's breaking down. They still live at home with their parents, or they're with the older dude they really don't care for, right? They have 40, 50, $60,000 in student loan debt at minimum. They're working a dead end job, making $35,000 a year, if even. That's what they know. They're not thinking that far. Now they might be moving in this particular direction that you're speaking of, Big Kev, with this kind of pseudo Marxist, gynocratic, I am woman, hear me roar, while I'm I'm a little small, damsel in distress at the same time, like Rosie the Riveter and damsel in distress at the same time type talk, which I know it makes no sense. That's the point, right? Meek and mild while being a lioness at the same time. So yeah, because some, I would even say some. I think a handful, relative handful, obviously, are thinking like that. Very, that are Marxist and that'll own it, right? But they also want like this gynocratic, female-led world order. Definitely black female-led world order. A handful of them, that's what they're on. Like none of them will actually admit that out loud, by the way. But a handful of them, that's what they're on. The others are just going with the flow. Wherever they think or feel, definitely feel, that's the operative word. Wherever they feel like they would have some control over their life, that's where they're going. So if some YouTube scholar or TikTok scholar, these are their like high priestesses, right? These are their gurus online. If a guru is coming to you with, hey, I got the answer. Well, if we move like this, you manipulate men like that, and you speak like this, then snap fingers. We'll get it. You'll get what you're looking for. That's where they're going, right? Any of us have any family members or relatives like they church hop because they're looking for a particular message delivered a particular way, right? So they'll spend a Sunday or two, maybe even a month or two at this church. Then they go to another church. Then 6 months later, they're at another church. Then 3 months later, they're at another church. But they're looking for a particular pastor or preacher to give a sermon in a particular way. They want a certain vibe. That's these people, right? I know that's a long-winded way of kind of addressing what you said, Big Kev, but yeah, yeah. I'm not going to dismiss it because I do think that you're right. And let's read that comment again. Their goal is to sell a Marxist gynocratic utopia. Yeah, I think for some, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Right, definitely for some. So let's read it. Definitely. And Kevin Miller said it will die the same death as PUA pickup artists. Right? I think even worse. I think even worse, brother. I think even worse. Right. And this is we like they're going way out there with it. Y'all keep on messing with that spirituality, borderline voodoo or Comey and all that. All right. And all that is the signs of a person that doesn't have control over their lives and reaching and grasping for some semblance of stability and structure. Here's the catch: while running from men, while running from the men that would help to provide that structure and balance and stability. That's the catch, right? That's the catch. And no placeholder said, Uru said the current environment unleashes the natural tendencies of a mammalian female. So fixing it, quote unquote, would be men curbing these natural tendencies. Yeah. And this actually speaks to when I see this type of thing, like it's Jason Black shouting, like I told y'all, women are the ones who started religion, right? And this is their way of like coping with the environment. This is women's way of coping with the environment for the good and bad of it. That's all this is. For the good and bad of it, this is women coping with attempting to cope with the environment. Those astronomical home prices, insane car prices, precarious work environments, no love life or barely a love life, right? And so yeah, like no placeholder is saying the fixing it part, and yeah, this is you know I'm in a weird way I'm almost lost for words with this because we see them keep on running into the wall of this, right? We see them running into the wall of this over and over and over again, and they're still doing it. At one point, it was the manifest talk. This is all under that same umbrella. The spirituality talk and messing with different African spiritualities and voodoo coming from Louisiana and voodoo coming from Haiti or somewhere on the west coast of Africa and Brazilian style something and whatever, bro. Somebody hit the bruh button, bruh. Like running into that wall over and over again. Well, this didn't work. Okay, let me try this. Well, this didn't work. Let me try this. Right? And is it truly self improvement talk? Eh, in a woman's way, in the XX chromosome way, yes. This is how XX chromosome speaks about self improvement. Throw some spirituality talk on there. Throw some divine feminine talk on there. Throw some goddess talk on there. Right? Insane insanity. And thank you for that super chat, by the way, no placeholder. Thank you very much. Right. So what was also said on this that I found interesting is the revenge talk, right? They have a revenge fantasy playing in their mind. So Madison speaks about the revenge fantasy playing in their mind. That's something I want to emphasize. This is why I tell black men to be careful. That revenge fantasy playing in their mind is real. They feel like they've been rejected. They feel like they've been ignored. They feel like that they've been played by either life or a particular man or young man, or by the type of men they find attractive, truly attractive. And here you come along, and she's about to unload the clip on you. And it doesn't matter that you have nothing to do with those other men. You're a man, so you suffered the fate that those men should have suffered. Right? I got my heart broken. I feel like was rejected or ignored by this guy. So now you got to suffer the consequences. Right? So you have to suffer the consequences. Right? Give me a second, yo. We'll see what this is not showing me. Okay, now it's showing me the way it's supposed to. Okay, yeah. Y'all got to be careful for that too. That revenge talk, and y'all see it online often. Well, men do it too. Well, y'all wasn't saying Kevin Samuel been dead for over a year now, right? Well, y'all wasn't saying that when Kevin Samuels was saying average at best. What? And they'll hold on to that forever, right? And even in your individual lives, even when we take it out of the macro, well, you're a man, so it doesn't matter. Men do this all the time. So you being a man, part of men. So what if I hurt you? I got hurt, and right. So what if I played you? So what if I manipulated you, knowingly or maybe even unknowingly? Whoops. Oh well, you're a man. Eat it. Now we see people that have played with this type of language in their own right, and how it turns out for them. It doesn't work well. I just don't want my subscribers and other brothers part of the Black Manosphere to be casualties to these people. It's okay you blew two, three, four, five, $600 on a couple of dates and you didn't get the vagina, but it's better you leave that situation than be in a relationship with one of these people. That few $100 it pales in comparison to being in a relationship with one of these type of women that's playing with this because her life is not the way she wanted to be at 25 and 27 and 30 years old. So now she watching Shira 7 talking about sprinkle, sprinkle every 5 seconds. I don't get into politics. I don't get into this. I don't speak about that. Sprinkle, sprinkle, yawn. Right? All it is about manipulating a man to be the world's greatest provider for you. Super simple. Da, da, da. That's all it is. Manipulating a man to just be there, whether you actually like him or not. To be paymaster, right? And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. Detroit says, I noticed lately about those numbers between men content creators and women. Men content creators get less numbers but has more followers, but women numbers could be big, has less followers. Don't make sense. Yeah, right. These women are doing it's interesting because you'll see, and it's I just thought about this. You'll look at people like Jason Black, right? Jason Black channel will have like what I think he has 70 something thousand subscribers, maybe 80 something thousand subscribers. And he'll do a live and he'll have thousands of people listening, like 4 or 5 thousand people listening to a live with 70, 80 something thousand. What is it? 70 something? Somebody check for me real quick. He's not even at 100. I know that. Even on the business, he's not at 100. Either on his business channel and on the Black Authority, he's not at 100,000. Either channel. And yet, when he go live, he'll have thousands, easily more than 3,000 people listening, 4 and 5,000 people listening. And on a stream where he touches a spicy topic, 8,000 people listening. But he has less than 100,000 subscribers. Now, if Yanni goes live, or if Paris goes live, who has like 3 times or easily at least 2 times the subscribers, but closer to 3 times the subscribers, they're not even getting 2,500 people listening. Okay, let's say they have 20. They're not getting 3,000, 5,000 people listening. 10,000. They're not getting Jason Black numbers. Like I said, Jason Black hits a spicy topic, 8,000 plus people listening. Those women aren't doing those numbers. Like I told you, they'll have 1,500 people listening, 2,000. So yeah, yeah, Detroit. They're not, those ladies aren't doing those numbers. So how, right? All these subscribers. So are these people subscribing? They subscribe for a little while. They listen to these people for a few months, maybe a year or two, and then they stop listening and they keep their subscription. They don't unsubscribe. And then it's the vice versa for people like Jason Black, where people are listening in, they just don't subscribe. Or is that YouTube messing with the numbers, right? I have my whole theory about that, right? I will say, if y'all can see, Mr. Z's been really close to 2,000 subscribers for a while. He ain't hit 2,000 subscribers yet. Those numbers have gotten really close to 2,000 and they drop right back down. Huh. Y'all make sure y'all check, y'all subscribed with the bell highlighted, right? So yeah, going to what Detroit said. Yeah, the subscription thing is very interesting. The numbers thing is very interesting. The view counts are very very interesting, right? And I want y'all to know, these women are consuming a lot of this stuff. They're not watching news. They're not watching what we're watching. Like Mr. Z will share a clip from Breaking Points or a clip from wherever, right? CNN or TYT or any news pseudo news network kind of thing, right? Not these people, because that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about manipulating men, the dark feminine, right? Dark feminine energy, how to tap into dark feminine energy. And Big Kev is correct when he says, dark feminine doesn't necessarily have to be toxic, but they don't know how to not be toxic. And they kind of want to be toxic because of the revenge factor. They want to get back. They want to be mean with it. Right? When y'all hear Chrissy speak about black men, you don't hear her getting off on being mean. When they hear Yanni speak Paris, they get off on it. I'm surprised they not have an orgasm right there on the screen. They get off on it. And their subscribers do too. I'm telling you, when I was speaking to Paris, her subscribers were lighting up her, watching her be snarky with me. They were lighting up. They love it. Right? So yeah, Big Kev has a point. Dark feminine doesn't necessarily have to be toxic, but these people love that. They love that. They love hearing a woman bring a man down a size. Right? That's why they were so on Ebony K. Williams. They love it. Half of them are single as hell, miserable as hell. Lint come out of their savings account when you shake their savings account. They're in the red across their life. But one thing they do know, they love to see someone like Ebony K. Williams get black men together. Yeah, tell them to step up to the standard. Tell them to meet the standard. What standard? You're broke. Well, I'm a woman. I don't have to have. That's what you saw all through the comments. When Iyanla was speaking to Dr. Steve Perry, all through the comments, Iyanla was trying to say, like, you don't got it. But he's supposed to have it and buy you through your way of life. Iyanla was kind of speaking to that, but all through their comments, all through her comments, was that, well, I'm a woman. He's a man. That's his job type talk. These are the women that don't want to adhere to any gender norms whatsoever. But the one gender norm they do know is men are supposed to buy your way through life as a woman. It's a man's job to buy your way through life. That's the one gender norm I'll stick to. The provider part, the protector part, screw all the other gender norms. The two gender norms that are a hard fat, you don't move an inch, is the protector provider part from men. Right? So tying all of that back to what Detroit is saying, yeah, brother, they're doing numbers because they're selling women the soap. They're selling women the soap. Mahogany Pink came in for a few months, dropped a couple of videos in her that Black Love video and whatever. Those did numbers. Those did hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Black women in her comments clapping up. Black women in her comments recently just, please come back. Where have you gone? We need you. They want to hear that. They get off on the emotional high. And even Madison spoke to that. They get all these women that get off on the highs and lows. Right? They get off on that. So they're gonna watch content creators like Chrissy because they like when Chrissy gets black men together, right? Quote unquote gets black men together. They're gonna watch Paris. They liked when Paris was dancing all over the brother that was killed by those brothers, the one that was in Tennessee. They liked watching Paris dance on his grave. These people are sick. That's the revenge talk, right? That Madison was speaking about. Tyree Nichols, that's the brother's name, Tyree Nichols. They got off on that. And by the way, we're not talking about your cousin that's kind of on the spectrum a little bit. We're not talking about that female cousin. No, these are women that you work with, that you interact with on a daily. Now, I'm not saying all or even most on this one, but a sizable minority, possibly. Right? For Paris to say something like, and y'all don't even, essentially, y'all don't know how to die right. Y'all don't even have life insurance. See, your mom got to go do fish fries and all type of cookouts and all type of, for her to, that being snarky on a man's brutal beating to death. That's the revenge part. They get off on that. They damn near having orgasms listening to Paris dance on Terry Nichols' grave. Because the man said a couple of unsavory things when he was like 21 years old. 7, 8 years later, he moved from what, Sacramento to Tennessee. Different outlook. Now he in the South. Now he see what it is. He changed his language. It doesn't matter. And so they're dancing on his grave. And I'm tying this all to the subject and what Detroit said. And those are the videos that do numbers. On those women's channels, those are the videos that do numbers. Because other black women, young black women, get off on that. All the black women that done talk crazy about us spent entire careers talking crazy about black men. Black men don't dance on their graves when they pass. Black men in the black manosphere don't dance on their graves. But the women, especially the young women, they can't help it. And those are the videos that do numbers on Paris's channel, on Yanni's channel, on Chrissy's channel. Right? It's the double standards and it's the outrage. And then they use that to go right into the subject matter of dancing on a black man's grave. It's the hypocrisy. It's okay when they say it's not okay when we do it, and then they go right into insulting black men, right? Trying to make some false equivalency for Ebony K. Williams. Kevin Samuels did the whole average at best thing. It's okay for him to say it. It's not okay for Ebony K. Williams to say it. Ebony and Kevin Samuels were not talking about the same thing. But those are the videos that do numbers. Right? Yanni saying getting sex from men is very easy. It's easy to get sex from men. Those are the videos that do numbers. Women speaking about how very little you are, and essentially you're nothing but a walking wall and an overglorified guard dog. Those are the videos that do numbers. You know, Detroit got me in rant mode right now. Goddamn, Detroit. Right? You know, and thank you for the super chat, Detroit. And Will AR says these women engage in nonstop cope because their innate Jezebel prideful culture won't allow them to admit to an error in judgment. Babylonian, in my humble opinion. Brother, they can't admitting wrong, right? Will are you speaking about black women admitting wrong, admitting error concerning black men on top of that? Oh no. They will not. Right? They will not. And a lot of this, yes, is coping. I already told you about when they throw a temper tantrum and put their vagina on ice in their late 20s, early 30s. Talking about they're celibate, right? And that's just them throwing a 7-year-old temper tantrum mad at God because I gave the vagina to the type of men I like, so it didn't work. All right, screw everybody. Right? I'll tell y'all they engage in that. We all already know that. I'm not even saying nothing new. We have that coworker or that friend or that associate who tell you they've been celibate for 2 years, 3 years, men ain't ish, right? So yeah, they won't admit to the error in their judgment because okay, this is the thing. When you admit to the error in judgment, when you admit, hey, I might have messed up, I might have miscalculated, I might have did this all wrong. Then you admit that what's on the other side of that equal sign, excuse me, what's on the other side of that equal sign, you participated in. Life plus you equals it's the you part. You don't want to admit the you part because that's like saying one plus one equal two. If you admit the you part, you're saying one plus one equal two. Now, if you don't admit the you part, then it's just one plus equals two. And we could go on forever about what's on the other side of that addition sign, right? What is the other number that gets us to two? Okay, it says one plus, is it seven? Is it nine? Is it 32? Is it zero? Is it four? Is it five? But the second you admit error, you put you into the calculation, then we get one plus one equals two. You admit your faults. You admit, look, because the way they see it is, I'm admitting that I deserve what I got, and I can't do that. I can never say that because I don't deserve this, right? That's where that type of language comes from. I don't deserve this. It's not my fault. It's men's fault. It's the way they're socialized, and that's where Chrissy and them come in, right? And just not just Chrissy. That's where just a smorgasbord of women, not even just black women, come in. When you see oftentimes when women have contempt for other women concerning men, there you go. You mothers are babying your sons. The lady that's part of the school board that me and BGS covered that was saying we need to socialize our sons not to hit the little girls back. Socialize your sons not to hit girls back. Let me say that again. Your sons will hit, excuse me, your daughters will hit a little boy. Socialize your sons to eat that hit, right? And Themis kept on telling her, wait, shouldn't we socialize all the kids not to touch each other, not to hit each other, not to strike each other? She's like, yeah. But you know, women and their emotions and da 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 da. She's going to hit him. Just socialize him not to hit her back. No matter what. Don't ever hit a woman back. Don't ever hit a girl back. And that's what this comes down to. Right? You socialize women to accept accountability, and then maybe the reason why they're single is their fault. They can't accept that. They cannot accept that. Maybe this is karma, and I don't mean karma in a negative sense. What you get in is what you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. They can't own that, right? They cannot own that. So yeah, will they are yeah the nonstop cope. Yeah, they're man, it's bad. It is bad. And I don't even have a TikTok account. I'm not even on TikTok to see the insanity. And TikTok is of a younger crowd also. I'm not even on TikTok to see the insanity yet. Right? I see TikTok clips on IG and on YouTube. I'm not even on TikTok. YouTube is where I see all the inside. I could imagine if I was on TikTok listening to some 27-year-old be the guru for 21-year-olds, not knowing what the hell she talking about. Be the relationship guru, be the sensei for some 22, 23-year-olds. Talking about the divine feminine type talk. The dark feminine type talk. Yawn, right? Insanity. And better use is, I know a lady, and thank you for the super chat. Oh, and thank you for the super chat, Will AR. And better use is, I know a lady from Bama that experiments with every spiritual fad she can to justify her men ain't ish talk. Side note, what sprinkle sprinkle mean? That's like Shira Seven. That's like her little borderline voodoo type talk. Her like she'll say sprinkle sprinkle. All her subscribers say sprinkle sprinkle, right? That's their thing over there, right? Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's their type of talk, right? But yeah, but knowing a woman that's into all the fads, yeah, I believe you. I definitely believe you, right? As a matter of fact, so um, years ago, my lady, we were sitting down in the room, and one of her friends, she finally played the answering machine from one of her friends, and the friend literally, because when you hear it the first time and you're like, wait a minute. So she played it, she had it on speaker, and the friend literally did what you said, better you, which is like reference all of these kind of black women fads online. Like, we could have what we want, we could manifest this, we deserve that. Like I think we deserve the most luxurious life, and listen to me. I'm not kidding about this, y'all. Like, Mr. Z isn't making this up. This is not no exaggeration. None of this. She literally listed off the fads. Now, not listed off like black women in luxury or black. No, she didn't do that like that. But it was like, when you're listening to her speak, you could tell, okay, she's getting this from this space. She's getting that from this space. Oh, yeah, she referenced that. She referenced this. And literally, this was like in the matter of maybe a 2-minute recording, maybe something like that. Maybe a 90-second recording, something like that. I just want you to know that we deserve it, and da da da, and we're gonna live our best lives. And I'm not kidding, y'all. You want to know the cherry on top? You want to know the cherry on top? Just got married to a white man with 3 kids from a previous relationship. I'm not joking. I am not joking. I am not joking. Damn near 10 years her senior. 3 white children from a previous relationship. And no, that young lady does not have any children. I am not. When I say checked up, pretty much listed all the fads at the time. About two. This is about 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. These women are living on the internet. The internet is real. Real life is fake, right? What they say, that's ghetto. Real life is ghetto. The internet is real. The internet is paradise. They get to live out their fantasies, right? And they so adopt this worldview that they'll say it in regular speech and not realizing they're doing it. Now, some of them do, definitely, but not realizing that's what they're engaging in. Better you, I'm not joking. So I agree with you. I know that what you just said, it actually happens. It actually does happen. These women really do recite all of these type of weirdo, like, manifest talk and all type of different. If Okomi is the spiritual practice of the day, that's what they're on. If it's voodoo, that's what they're on. If it's some type of other African spirituality, that's what they're on. If it's some type of Brazilian or Latin American spiritual practice, that's what they're on, right? And they go out in the world and start to like evangelize this way of viewing the world to other women, and like you said, to condemn men, particularly black men, of course, of course. right? Of course. So yeah, no, I definitely know what you're saying is real. I definitely know what you're saying is real. Better you, right? And all of it is just grasping at straws, grasping at straws for their, precarious life. Yeah, but sprinkle, sprinkle. That's Shira Seven's thing. That's Shira Seven's thing. And let's pause right here. Thank you for the super chat. Better you. Um, as a Haitian, I'm gonna tell y'all, don't mess with any women that be on that. When she starts speaking that spiritual talk, divine goddess, divine. Now there's some of that that's just benign. It's just about her freaking ego, right? And you can, you know, if you want, if she's fine enough, if she got her head on her shoulders in other ways, you could see where that goes, right? But for the most part, if they start speaking about African spirituality on some voodoo type stuff, oh no, right? Some type of supernatural, Brazilian, no. Latin American, nope. Louisiana, nope. Caribbean, nope. Stay away from it, right? And that's not just for black women. Any woman y'all date, especially Latinas and black women, but any woman y'all date, even if it's a white girl, she start talking about witchcraft and all type of run. Because it's not about whether it's real or not. It's the fact that she think it's real. It's not whether it works or not. It's the fact that where her mental state is, right? And Detroit says black women says it makes her horny when black men gets killed by cops or white supremacy when she responds her orgasm, right? Well, didn't we see a isn't there a clip circulating about from black women when they were on Clubhouse, right? Talking about what's really masculine, what's these white men that are hemming up and roughing up these black dudes, these white racist cops, they yeah. So yeah, you gotta have some of that. And let's be very clear, this one is not most. This one is not all or most. This is like fringe. I'll give black women that. Black women are talking real crazy and reckless, but most of them ain't talking like this. Now this is next level fringe. That's next. When you start hearing women in general, black women and black women specifically, talk like that, like understand white racists aren't even going this far with the language. Maybe in their little small dark holes on the internet, but for the most part, this blatant telling, I get turned on, or what's really sexy to me? Watching white racist cops beat up on black men. Yeah, that's bitter, angry, rageful, vengeful, nasty, gutter, you know, super fringe black women stuff. Nobody else is talking like that, right? Because even the white racists, you don't know how much they want to admit that that's what they're on. Even online, they try to cop please in different ways. The black women that are sounding like this are like just like disgusting, right? These are the ones that if they were on fire, you wouldn't even want to urinate on them, right? So if she's talking about catching an orgasm watching black men being killed by white supremacy, yeah, that you don't even engage in that. I don't know how much I used to do it all the time. Let's be honest. I don't know how much I or how productive I think you know commenting in these people comment section is, but especially for people like that, don't even engage with those women. Occasionally I'll make reference of them, or I'll play a clip. When I do my pre-records, I'll play a clip from something just to kind of illustrate the point. But for the most part, Those there's not even a point in engaging, right? No point in even engaging with women that are like that far off. That's super fringe, like tierist level, stuff. Just yeah, stay away from people like that completely. Right. If she's talking about having orgasms, yeah, from watching white supremacy and white supremacists harm black men, yeah, there's nothing. You can't do anything with a woman like that. No, even white men, no one can do anything with a woman like that. Right. No one. Right. And who said? I think I glanced somewhere, and I think someone said Shira's seven husband served her divorce papers. There we go. Kevin Miller says Shira's husband reportedly served her divorce papers on camera. That's the same husband that she be bragging about, and on how she kind of manifested that situation, right? Is that the same? Is that the same husband? Uh-oh, right? Kevin Miller, are you saying TikTok? Are you speaking about TikTok here when you say Gen Z clout chasing headquarters, right? And I wouldn't be surprised. That's actually a really good way to reference TikTok from what I can see on the outside looking in, because once again, like I told you, I don't have a TikTok. That's probably that's what I'm reading from TikTok, right? What I'm reading from TikTok is what you just said, Kev, like clout chasing headquarters, you know. And in a way, you could be a celebrity. Like let me give y'all the real. As a content creator with my super small channel, is there a small dopamine hit? Yes. When brothers reference me on other channels, including other content creators, do you feel a sense of pride? Yes. Right. But if I really cared about the fam, I would have showed my face. And I would have definitely invested way more into my content, right? But these people, that's that in their own way, they're famous, right? That's what this is about. They're famous in their own way. And that's what this is about. You have, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, right? Or even YouTube, but let's say TikTok because that's what we're speaking about. And yeah, so you're kind of famous, especially for people like Paris. When Paris was going back and forth with Godfrey, yes, Paris and Godfrey had an exchange of words. Paris got off on that. Paris got off on that. I'm a celebrity enough for Godfrey to be going back and forth with me, and for me to make him seem like he's being a little child. That thing Yanni didn't get off on sunning Anton. She got off on that, right? So yeah, that clout chasing headquarters. I mean, you know, some of us, we're making a few dollars off of our content, and it would hurt a little bit if your channel got shut down or got deleted. And then other people, they're living off of this, or it's such an important and crucial, part of their income now. So they're getting the dopamine hit off of the clout, and the money is real. The money accounts for a third of their annual income now, half of their annual income now, right? Or a quarter of their annual income now. And it's a crucial part. They can't live without it no more. They can't scale back 25% or a third. So yeah, I agree with Kevin Miller on that. Yeah, clout chasing, definitely. Clout chasing and paper chasing. And so they're just putting out weirdo content, right? Talking about the dark feminine, right? For their ego. All right. So KW Don says, and thank you for the super chat, KW Don. And KW Don says, Tina Turner is their prototype. Marries down and leaves the bulk of her estate to a white male. her black grandchildren will inherit dust. Hey, it's very interesting to see the contempt that many black women have for black men. While when they get in relationships with white dude, the white dude played the crap out of them. You know, and very few of them are willing to admit it. You got a handful of TikTok videos where the women admit it. You got the sister like a couple years ago that was crying in her car because the white frat bro played her ass. Um, you have Ola, which I covered when she was speaking on Brianna Joy Gray's panel on the Bad Faith podcast panel. You have a handful of black women that are honest about it, right? But oftentimes we see it and they won't admit it. We know story after story of interracial couple, black woman, white man. Last time you saw him and her were in an argument or they weren't talking, she disappeared and the cops don't even investigate him, right? Or her body is found limp, excuse me, in his apartment or in his home. The cops do some little blinking you're missing investigation and let him go, right? So yeah, the Tina Turner story. That's isn't that the what's the name of the was it skincare? Wasn't skincare the Shea Butter Company with the two sisters, and then the sister dealing with some white Italian dude. Then she dies of whatever she dies of, and then he tricked the other sister out the game, and now he what started what y'all said a beard company or something like that, beard grooming business with that with the money with the startup. There you go. Y'all keep on thinking these white dudes ain't what they've been who they are for centuries. All right, black women, right? Y'all keep on. All right, and it don't matter how square you think he is, because they think only like the wiggers are like that. The hood white dudes they think are like that. The Machine Gun Kellys, right? Machine Gun Kelly has a mixed daughter with the black women. Bro, after Machine Gun Kelly made it famous, you ain't seen him touch a black woman since. You ain't seen him touch a black woman since he made it famous. Got a whole mixed daughter. Same. It literally is Kid Rock all over again. Kid Rock got a mixed black son, made it famous. You ain't see him touch another black woman since. And he's saying racist stuff. Mixed black son saying racist things. Well, there you go. Right? So the Tina Turner thing, that's nothing, right? One of the most famous rock groups and duos ever. Rock and roll, like Tina Turner, Ike Turner, that's their face. You wage a whole campaign about DV against Ike Turner. Like Ike Turner's face is the face of DV now. Not white men, not Latino. If it's up to black women like Tina Turner will make black men's face the face of everything negative having to do with men. Ike Turner's face is the face of DV. And she passes and leave her money to a white dude. Hey, right? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. You know that's unfortunate. That's right. And thank you for the super chat, KW Don. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that she left a lot of her money or most of her money to that husband. Okay, well, right. Then you're gonna see more of that. Hey, I'm telling you, as you know, more and more black women date and marry non-black men, you're gonna be hearing all, bro, right? You're gonna be hearing those type of stories. And you know, oftentimes these Latinos, y'all just don't break up, man. We got a term down here called highly divorce. If he gotta leave, he taking your life with him out the door. Hey, shout out to the black women that y'all gonna be out here. Y'all, it's like, what do you expect if you are pining to be part of these people's community? Then you're gonna get what the women in their communities get oftentimes, right? Not all the times, not most of the times, but you know, oftentimes when they break up, right? Get prepared to be called the C word by white men. Black men don't use that word like that. Get prepared to be barked down to, maybe have some hands put on you from Eastern European men, right? Get prepared. Get prepared for, you think colorism is real in the black community. Get prepared for all type of cousins and aunts and siblings to be making sly comments about your skin tone in the Latino community, in the South Asian community, in the Southeast Asian community. Goddamn. In the East Asian community. Well, damn, Mr. Z. You think colorism's real in the Black American community? All right, you'll see. Right? Be prepared to hear racist jokes. Be prepared for them to treat you like you're lucky you got their son because their son is white, or their son is white passing Latino or whatever. Them treat you like you're nothing because we both know you're the one that's lucky you got him. You're lucky that he has a thing for black women and he don't just want to pipe and leave. Get prepared for you to be treated that way. Right? And that's what comes with more and more black women dating out, but not only dating out, walking around with blowhorns, yelling into the world how horrible black men are and how they're so desirous to be with non-black men. All over college campuses, all over mainstream media, all over social media, print media, etc., etc. You letting the white guys know what y'all on. Y'all letting the Latinos know what y'all on. Y'all letting the Asians know what y'all on. Okay then. Right? And Better You, thank you for the super chat. And Better You says, TikTok rough. I got sent a clip of a black lady life coach shitting on black men for 3 minutes straight, shaking my head. Be careful who you get help from, black men. Right? And Better You, if you don't mind, send that to my email. Right? Send that to my email if you don't mind. And I bet you TikTok's rough. I bet you. Because it don't even have the filters that YouTube has. I mean, it's Chinese. Look, y'all know how I look at white folks. Sideways like hell, suspicious as hell. But there is something to be said about TikTok being Chinese. At least, at the very least, you could do the Freedom of Information Act on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on all these social media sites that are based in the US. At least they have on paper rules they're supposed to follow. Now, whether they follow them or not is different. Whether they spy on you or not is different. We all know they spy on you. All of that, et cetera, et cetera. But on paper, at least, you're afforded some type of rights and liberties and protections, at least on paper, right? China don't got none of that. And they don't even pretend. They don't have any of that, and they don't even pretend, right? And they're based in China. What are you going to do anyway? And I'm saying that to say, it's not like the gender warring and the insane talk about black men doesn't exist on YouTube. Clearly it does. But there's something about this happening, and it's happening under a Chinese company, right? And there's like no filters, and there's like, what won't they allow on TikTok, right? And we already know like TikTok, more than any other social media site, has worked their algorithm to be as addictive as humanly possible. It's purposely made to target children, to target girls, and to be as addictive as humanly possible. Like it's cocaine, yo, right? So yeah, and that's why some of your nieces and some of your daughters and even some of your sons and nephews, right, and your younger guy and girl cousins, that's why they live on TikTok. They live on it. TV, what's that, right? They took Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Vine and Snapchat and all of that, and they found all of the best ways to be to target young people in particular, but target the brain and what makes certain neurons light up and what causes these things to be addictive, and they turned all the switches on over there on TikTok. And there you go. And so now you have women talking crap, even more crap about black men. And those videos, I'm pretty sure they're doing numbers because your young people are already on TikTok crazy, right? So yeah, thank you for that. Better you, right? And thank you for that super chat, better you once again. And Detroit says also there is a group called Salt and Pepper. One of them single 50 plus old that she gives out a live for women, but shitting on black men for exposure. Yeah, Salt and Pepper. Yeah, Salt and Pepper. Yes. So one of the Salt and Pepper team is talking crap about black men. Well, they were out here in the early 90s. How did it work for them? Right? So yeah, 50 plus year olds, but yeah, we have that. 45, 50, 55-year olds talking crazy on the internet about black men. Single as a loose leaf paper, right? Single as a prairie dog, just single. Talking crap about black men on the internet and couching it as advice for young black women. These people are just bitter, angry, lonely losers, bro. Now some of them are also encouraging black women to get into their dark feminine. Yawn. And dark feminine is all about, power and not letting people step on you and being assertive and yawn, right? But yeah, 50 plus year old, yeah, Salt and Pepper. So one of the Salt and Pepper members is out here talking crazy about black men. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Detroit said push it real good, right? I'm not surprised. I guess decades of pushing it real good, right? Didn't work out for them, and now they talking crazy. Okay, right? Vivica A. Fox, anyone? I mean, come on, right? Lisa Ray, anyone? Yeah, you're gonna have, and by the way, those are Xers. Wait until millennial black women are 50 and 55. You think Xer black women are bitter? Oh man, at least some of them had kids. They got married and got divorced. They did have a love of their life, right? A lot of these millennial women ain't have none of that. Yes, including a handful of the super attractive ones. Y'all remember, and I'm gonna do this in air quotes because of the context of the conversation. Ebony K. Williams is only 40 years old, and she sound the way she do. What y'all think she gonna sound like in a decade if she don't ever get married or have children? Even if she do have children, but it's through insemination and all type of science and everything like that, right? Artificial wombs type stuff, whatever. She's 40. She's only 40, and you imagine what she gonna sound like at 50 and 55? You imagine what she's gonna sound like at 50 and 55? If Kim Foster and her man don't work out, Kim Foster is a decade younger. Well, not a whole decade. Kim Foster's 34. That's for Harriet, for those of you that don't know. You imagine what Kim Foster's gonna sound like in a decade and a half if her and her man don't work out? You imagine what Yanni's gonna sound like? You imagine what Chrissy's gonna sound. Listen to Cynthia G. Listen to Cynthia G now. Millennial black women. Listen, every man under the sound of my voice. Single millennial black women in a decade and a half are going to be people you don't want to be nowhere around. You're not going to want to talk to them. You're not going to want to be around them at work. You're not going to want to have to walk up to them when they're behind the counter at customer service. Single millennial black women and women in general. I'm not even going to put that only on black women, specifically for black women. But the Latinas and the white girls too, you're not going to want to be around none of them in a decade and a half. Do you understand how seething? Y'all ever see when the lava falls down the mountain and then maybe it causes like a pool of lava and that lava is still bubbling up? That's going to be them just seethingly, like, angry is not the word. You're not going to want to be around none of them. But because we're black, specifically for the black women, give it, we're in 2023. Give it 2020, 2033, 2035. By 2035, you're not going to want to be around none of these women that are right now in their mid 30s, in their late 30s, in their early 40s for millennials. You're not going to want to be around them in a decade. You don't want to be around them now. You think you're going to want to be around them in a decade and a half? Oh, so Detroit, yes, Salt and Pepper sound crazy now. And yes, Vivica A. Fox sound crazy. Right? And yes, Eartha Kitt sounded crazy. Yes. But you ain't seen nothing. And this is, once again, this is a prediction, right? This is all opinion. On this point, this is all opinion and prediction. I'm predicting millennials and even Gen Z, Generation Alpha remains to be seen. But millennials and Gen Z in their 50s, oh no, you're not gonna want to be no parts. You don't want no parts of them. You're gonna want no parts of them. The single ones, oh man, childless and single at 55 years old, and you never made any real money, and you never really you never had your love reciprocated for a man. You never had children. Whether you were in love or not is arguable, but let's say you were in love, you never had that love reciprocated by the man you were in love with. Oh my God. Y'all ain't gonna want to be around her. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there's gonna be way more Eartha Kitts walking around than Diane Carrolls. Right? Way more. So yes, Salt and Pepper sound crazy now, and yes, I'm not saying they're not, or the particular member that you're speaking about, but my prediction is they're not. It's gonna pale in comparison to what's coming down the pike. Like I said, listen to how Chrissy sounds now. Because as crazy as these women sound, they're still holding out hope. Let's go to the grapevine. Listen how Uchechi sounded 5 and 6 years ago. Listen to how she sounded 5 and 6 years ago, Uchechi from the grapevine. You imagine what she's gonna sound like when she's 50 and 51 and 52 years old, potentially have never been married, or even if she married, divorced, no kids. Oh my God. And I'll throw a caveat in there too. Even if they have a child, a girl, if they have no sons to kind of be forced to deal with the way they sound, now that they have a son and he has to enter the world with women that sound like them, right? Oh yeah, y'all not gonna want to be around none of those women at all, right? At all. And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat again, Detroit. Detroit. Oh, well, no, that's the old comment. But yeah, let's read it again. Fine. Also, there's a group called Salt and Pepper. One of them, single, 50-plus-year-old, that she gives out alive for women, but shitting on black men for exposure. Wow, 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 wow. Right. Oh, and Detroit did say again. Okay, let's read that. And thank you for the super chat again, Detroit. And Detroit says, I'm hearing about Tina Turner alleged shots Randy Jackson, Michael Jackson brother, and Elton John's son, says she's abusive. Yeah, I'm not surprised, bro. You know that what's love got to do with it movie, the Tina Turner movie. You gotta remember this comes out in the height of like Waiting to Excel. Like it comes out in that window of like all these, how Stella got her groove back, all that type of movie, all those type of movies, um, that just like defecating, defecating on black men, speaking about black women being in these relationships with these like down low black men, these physically abusive black men, these um pookies, these tyrones, these men that are maybe good sexually but they're losers in every other way of their life, or vice versa. They got their money together but they're dweebs and they're nerds, and their sex game sucks. um yeah, so you remember like the the Tina Turner movie comes out amidst all of that, right? So it was propaganda. It was a propaganda hit piece against black men using the empowerment of black women as the backdrop. Like, yeah, this is about black women and their stories and their voices, and in their voices, black men ain't shit. Black men ain't ish. Black men are garbage. Black men are trash, right? So that's what it is. It's black women telling their stories, and in their stories, black men ain't ish. And there you go. And so Tina Turner's story and her movie just come out in the middle of all of that type of talk, right? So yeah, you know. And so wrapping up. Okay. Thank you, Better You. And Better You says, just sent it to you. Detroit's a TLC. Anyone? I'm just saying, right? So yeah, wrapping up. You know, the dark feminine. There's. I think we said all we need to say here. It's about power. It's about manipulation. Yeah. The struggle is real. It's about control. It's about power through manipulation. That's what the dark feminine is about. Mainly enacted on men, right? Mainly enacted on men. That's what this is really about. And that's, you look, that's something I want us to be very careful of, as I said before, as these things become more precarious, as interest rates rise, as people lose structure in their life more and more. They don't have any structure now, but right, as they lose stability, as automation and AI jobs, come in full fruition, as the gig economy is pushed on us more and more. um yeah, you're gonna see people. engage with this type of talk, particularly the women, particularly black women, engage with this dark feminine talk more and more. And let me play this clip one more time from the young lady so y'all can hear it before we end out, right? And y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna play this clip for y'all one more time so y'all can know what the backdrop of the conversation was. And this is from Madison Brown, right? And y'all give me 1 second. And here we go.
Shall we? The dark feminine energy craze has been circulating on TikTok for a while, and it seems to be another kind of feminine trope that TikTok really likes to latch on to. It's been not only present in the self-transformation, self-improvement part of TikTok for women, but also within the dating advice side of TikTok. Dark feminine energy, according to this Vice article, appears to be the latest in a long line of TikTok trends combining self-help, girl boss feminism, witchy language, and spirituality. As ever, it draws on well-known tropes, this time repackaged under a sexy black vinyl femme fatale aesthetic. On the surface, the dark feminine is someone who is sultry, sexy, seductive, mysterious, dominant, assertive, confident, typically has some sort of intense stare or glare or smolder. And on a deeper, more behavioral level, the dark feminine asserts boundaries, doesn't explain herself, cuts off anybody or anything who doesn't serve her. The list goes on. To understand what
And there you go. So now, for those of you that didn't catch the beginning of the stream, that is the dark feminine, right? And Demetrius said, "Oh, I saw that video. Yeah, 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 yes, right." And yeah, Mr. Z, listen to people I disagree with, right? Mr. Z, listen to people that I disagree with because sometimes they break down things like Madison did here, Madison Brown. They break down things and you're like, well, I can't improve on that. That's pretty good. And then we'll speak about it after the fact. Or they do the research, or the fact that you disagree with them, or the fact that they're so off is the basis of it's the base of a conversation, right? It's something you can have a conversation about. Like, where the hell is this person coming from? What's informing their perspective, right? And Stuart D Knight says, actually, it's a cry for help. Yeah, a lot of this is a cry for help. If you're still speaking about the subject matter, yes. Right? A lot of this is a cry for help. Right? But they're doing it in this weird way, right? This kind of, I don't actually need help, but help me. I'm not gonna tell you I need help. I'm not, because that makes me vulnerable and makes me feel weak. And I already feel weak because these black men have played me and they've used me and there you go. Right. So once again, this is really, the struggle is real, and the dark feminine talk is about control and power through manipulation, particularly of men. It's also revenge fantasy talk. It's the revenge they you know they have this revenge fantasy playing in their mind, like Madison said. Madison was definitely correct about that, right? It's definitely that type of talk, you know. So on that note, we'll end out. Truly, I have to go do sun stuff. Um, and like, share, subscribe. Thank you, button for the replay squad. Thank you very much for listening in, y'all. Right? Thank you very much. I definitely wanted to bring this to y'all so that y'all could be careful. Please, brothers, be careful. Once a woman start talking like that, start looking at her suspiciously. Start thinking about how you want to make your exit. If you want to make your exit, I mean, if you want to engage in this, then that's fine. But hey, don't say no one ever didn't warn you, right? Don't say no one didn't warn you. You know. But definitely, if it sounds like she's really engaging in this, it's not no surface level thing. Yeah, you might want to make your exit like ASAP, right? Like now. And y'all just be careful out there. Especially for my brothers that's in the dating scene. And it's not just a black woman thing, right? It's not just the Latinas are on it too. The white women are on it too. We're focused on black women here because that's who we date, that's who we hope to marry. But yeah, the women, they're on it, especially as their life becomes more and more precarious. Yep, And on that note, we'll truly pause right here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all Sunday, right? Go check out other Black Manosphere content. Go check out other non-Manosphere content, right? And y'all have a great rest of y'all day. So we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. All right, everyone. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day.